Cachapas is a national dish of Venezuela. It's a very popular street food commonly eaten for breakfast, but that type is often thinned out with cream, sweetened with sugar, and pureed until it's completely smooth. The version I'm showing you here is a savory kind, more like the way they were made by grandmothers a few decades ago. They can be filled with cheese, but I suggest you try them without the cheese as an accompaniment to the Venezuelan blackened chicken recipe in my previous video here. The flavor combination is unique and absolutely delicious. I'm doing a small volume here, and you can scale this up. So into food processor bowl, I'm going to put 200 grams of corn. This is canned corn that I drained. I put it in a sieve and I drained all the liquid that normally comes with it off. You can use plain wheat flour. I'm using finely ground corn flour. This is traditional, but honestly, I've made it both ways. It's okay with wheat flour. If you don't have corn flour, you can't get it, don't stop making the recipe. It'll still be fine. This is the whole egg. Now we have what is one of my secret ingredients here. Often they put butter in this. I'm going to use duck fat. Bacon, rendered bacon fat also works fine, but duck fat gives it something special. You know, there wouldn't be any point in me just showing you the recipe if I was making it the same way everybody else is making it, because there's lots of recipes out there for this. Putting half a teaspoon of salt. I am not going to add any milk or cream to this. They usually do. I'm not going to. This is an extender, and it causes it to burn a little bit on the outside. When you have that milk in it, that's what gives it that brown, crusty surface that, you know, some people, I guess if you grow up with it, you like it. I don't like it that way. I think it's better this way. I let this run for almost a full minute. It's still not as finely ground as it would be if I'd used like a cocktail mixer or a stick blender on it, because I want little pieces of corn kernel in there. In Venezuela, they have a special machine for making this, and it grinds up the masa, the corn, but it leaves little bits of whole corn in it. If you use a stick blender or a drink blender, cocktail blender, it won't leave anything. It'll be absolutely a puree. Again, it's not really traditional, and it's not as good. It's better to have little bits of corn in it. So use a food processor and just let it run for quite a while. Food processor with these kinds of blades that slice, basically almost no matter how long you let it run, it's still going to have those little bits in there. So it'll be more like the really authentic old style Venezuelan one. The other very non-traditional thing I'm going to do is the butter I'm going to melt for this. I'm going to add a little pinch, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of granulated onion to this, and then I'm going to microwave this butter. I have a Teflon pan being heated medium heat, and for those that want accuracy, it's about 320 Fahrenheit, about 160, 170 Celsius. It's on 6 out of 1 to 10. It's on a 6. I'm putting some of this butter down, and the size you make of these, you know, obviously it's up to you. It's all the same, and you can put it in with a ladle, but it takes a while before it firms up. So you could just do it like this with a spatula, and just kind of shape it to what you want. One of the keys here is don't cook it too fast. You're not looking for super hot surface that you're going to form these things in quickly. If you try to do that, you'll ruin it. It has to be cooked reasonably slowly, and you'll know when to turn it when you start seeing bubbles coming up through the center here. Like I said, you got plenty of time here to smooth it out. And because I've made this thick, it's going to take a little bit of art here to smooth it around and make it even. If I was making it the way the street vendors make it, where it's like a puree and it's really liquid with a lot of cream in it, because cream is a lot cheaper than corn and the other ingredients, then you can just pour it like pancake batter and it'll smooth out itself. You know, there's something to be said for that. I like it this way. I like it really thick with visible pieces of corn in it. So, you know, suit yourself. Okay, this is pretty smooth. and even. So I'm just going to leave this to cook for a few minutes. And this is about 4 or 5 minutes later. The only real trick to this at all is knowing when to flip it. And if you do it too soon, it'll fall apart. If you do it too late, it'll be burned. This is the beautiful golden color you want to see. That's what it should look like. It should take about 4 to 5 minutes on a medium heat to get it like this. If it doesn't look like this, oh well, try it again. Now also, I have this beautiful golden, like a hash brown kind of texture on it. If you added a bunch of cream to it and you blended it up in a blender, you won't get this. What you'll get is this nasty, thick brown skin on the surface. And unfortunately, that's the way a lot of street vendors in Venezuela serve it. People are used to it. They enjoy it. This is much better. After 3 or 4 more minutes, you can take a spatula and lift it up. Have a little peek underneath. See what you think. Is it done enough yet? The other side's going to cook a little bit differently. So I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to invert it on the plate here. This is what the other side looks like. Not quite the same thing, but this is going to be on the inside. We're going to put the cheese in here now. The amount of cheese that you put in is up to you, and I can tell you, in Venezuela, they put an ungodly amount of cheese in the middle of these things usually, and they have a special cheese that you can't get here. Mozzarella is the closest thing you're going to find, unless you're in Venezuela, but then why are you watching my video? How to make these, you should already know. And then you just kind of fold it over. I'm going to use a spatula to help me. Okay. And it's going to break up a little bit. That's okay. It'll be fine. And the obligatory extra butter on top. If you like my videos, look for my cookbook, now available through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other internet bookseller sites. Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.